Hi there, my name is Ray Higdon, and today I'm going to give you my 7 biggest tips to create success inside of network marketing. And I am honored and blessed and very grateful to be doing this video for Network Marketing Success Magazine. Appreciate you asking me to participate some content and to share some content with your audience. So appreciate that. So 7 steps, and in creation, well, I guess first of all, maybe you want to know a little bit about me. I started in network marketing. My first network marketing company I actually got involved in was February of 2006. And I got in, I really didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't invest the time and energy into becoming a better network marketer. And long story short, I failed in that company, and I also failed in a whole bunch of other companies. I love the idea of residual income, but I really didn't understand quite a few things that I'll be covering with you here today. And fast forward a few years, I had been in real estate from 2004 to really 2009, I guess, and I lost it all. Here in the state of Florida, when the market changed, I had a business that was pretty good that went to nothing, and I literally lost it all. Found myself in personal foreclosure, and my girlfriend at the time was paying my utility bills while she was working at the Nordstrom makeup counter. So times were lean, and I was in a pretty bad place. And so a buddy of mine invited me to a home meeting. I went there and I said, you know what the hell, why not? I'm gonna throw my all into this. And I just decided that I had nothing else going on in my life, so I wanted to do something. I needed a change, and so I just attacked it, and I went after network marketing with just a vengeance, and was able to hit my first $10,000 month, my 5th month, my first $40,000 month, my 7th month, my first $50,000 month, my 10th month, and did over $1 million in commissions with that company. And since then we've launched our own coaching and training business, and have been able to go from personal foreclosure to over $1 million a year in under 5 years. And so I know that, I came from a pretty tough spot, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are coming from even tougher spots. And just know that you can, as long as you focus on your goals and follow these seven tips that I'm going to share with you today, you can create success. No matter where you are, you can create success. So let's dive into the content. And again, thanks to Network Marketing Success Magazine for allowing me to share this content with you. So first of all, okay, this is tip number 1 out of 7. Tip number 1, and this is, in my opinion, it's the biggest obstacle for people that are starting out with network marketing because they don't understand how it works. The number 1 biggest tip is eliminate your need for acceptance and approval. Most of us, we go through life and we want to, check with our friends and family and make sure we're making the right decision. So, when presented with a, job opportunity, we may ask our friends and family and kind of hear, and they'll give us feedback and things like that. But what people find in network marketing is, for some people, it's very challenging. Either because they've been approached improperly by a not so trained network marketer in the past, or they know someone who didn't really give network marketing a fair shot but blame the profession because of their lack of success, or just out of plain ignorance. Most people don't know how network marketing works, and the only exposure they've ever had to it may have unfortunately been negative. And so when you go out there, just like you would for, hey, I might eat at this restaurant and get good feedback or bad feedback. Well, when you go and ask for their acceptance and approval, a lot of times you don't get it. And that can really dishearten people. That can really bring you down. It can really damage you and have you really question, should you be in the profession? And you have to really eliminate the need for acceptance and approval. I have plenty of friends and family members that told me it was a scam, that told me it was a pyramid, that told me that it would never work. And, I've been I've been working from home since really 2004 or 2005. I'm sorry, but I've been full time in network marketing since 2009. So I guess it did work. And we've been able to travel the world. We've been able to, we honeymooned in Fiji. We bought a new house a few months ago, and I can tell you, and I'm certainly not the only success story out there. There's a lot of success stories. And the interesting thing is, I know a lot of people that have done very well in their own business. I know people that have done well in corporate America. And I also know people, obviously, that have done well in network marketing. The network marketing ones are usually the least stressed out, because they have residual income coming in over and over and over. And so if you get hung up on that need for acceptance and approval, you're going to have a tough time, because if you can't get past that first thing, how can you possibly build a business, a long-term business? And when it comes to acceptance and approval, my favorite analogy or story, if you will, is in one of the Matrix movies. I believe it was the second one. Morpheus, who's played by Lawrence Fishburne, he believes that Keanu Reeves, or Neo, is the one, right? The one that saves him, the one that comes to the rescue. And there's another guy, I forget his name, but he says to Morpheus, he goes, not everyone believes as you do. And Morpheus, without hesitation, says, my belief doesn't require them to. See, someone telling me that network marketing doesn't work, it would be like arguing to you that electricity doesn't work. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you have a friend and they like, what, man, electricity doesn't work. You'd be like, yeah, it does. You know what I mean? And you'd be like, that's a ridiculous argument. It absolutely works. See, that's the same for me. I know it works because I've experienced it, but I've also seen it firsthand. I've helped, people go full time and quit their job. I've helped people, make better money, spend more time with their kids, whatever, fill in the blank. So I know it works like electricity works. And when you have that belief level, acceptance and approval isn't a requirement. So that's my tip number one. Tip number two, treat this like a business. So often people come into network marketing, and one of the greatest things about network marketing is its flexibility of time commitment. One of the worst things about network marketing is its flexibility of time commitment. Just because you don't have to clock in each day doesn't mean you shouldn't, right? And so for those of you who've never owned a business, think of it like a job. Seriously, think of this like a part-time job that will allow you to eventually go full time. Okay? Just think of it like that. And so if you had a part-time job, how often would you report in? Well, as often as you wanted to get paid. And unfortunately, network marketing isn't like a job in that sense, in that you don't just show up, do an action, and get compensated on your efforts. You may do those actions for quite a while before you're compensated. But the key difference, here's the key difference. The key difference is once you do the work, you're compensated over and over and over, with or without the work. You see, at this point, if I just checked out from our network marketing company, stopped showing up to the events, stopped recruiting, stopped doing anything, I would still get a check each and every month. Can you say that about your income streams? Can you say that about a job? I've left a lot of jobs, and none of them had the discrepancy of continuing to send me a paycheck. That just never worked out, unfortunately. That would have been cool, right? I moved a lot of real estate when I was in the real estate business. However, I don't get compensated on any of those houses that I sold or moved or flipped or whatever, right? None. It all went away. It was a transaction. I was trading, time for dollars, and that's what most people are doing. And so when it comes to network marketing, you really want to treat it like a business, and be diligent in your efforts, and just so important. Now, number three, use the product. And maybe this seems it's going to seem really simple to some of you, but I see it all the time in every company. And a lot of times it's like a service company, or sometimes even a product company, that people, the distributors, they're trying to make sales, and they're trying to bring on recruiting people, and they're not even using the product. In my opinion, only a con man can sell something they don't use. okay? Only someone who's a con artist, right? And, give the example of Zig Ziglar. Many of you probably know Zig and, have heard, rest in peace. But many of you have probably heard some of his trainings and teachings and sayings. And, Zig, just so you know, he started off selling pots and pans door to door. Well, step one for you to be able to sell pots and pans is you had to buy the set. You had to actually use the set before they'd allow you out on the streets. Now, why is that? Because when people ask you, when they hit you with those tough objections, you can say, I've used the product, it works, right? So when people ask me about my network marketing product, they're like, I don't think that works. I'm like, well, I've used it this time, and I just, I've used it. Again, almost like arguing that electricity doesn't work. You need to use your product and encourage the use of your product. Don't treat this like some kind of money game. Treat this like an actual business. The product, the sale of product is what you should be getting compensated on, right? And whatever your product is, could be, health and wellness, could be travel, could be whatever, right? Use the product. Use the product and encourage use of the product. It's such a basic one, but I see so many people violate it, and then they wonder, why isn't anyone signing up? It's because you're not using the product, right? You can't overcome objections that, you don't know firsthand. Use the product, real simple one. Next one, attend the events. And this is so important. And I'll tell you, here's what's funny about this tip is I never have to push leaders into going to events. Or, people who are focused on their goals, I never have to remind them, hey, you going to the event? Because their answer is, of course. Successful people attend the events for a couple reasons. Now, most people that don't go, they'll say all these reasons why they're not going, and every one of those reasons are the reasons they should go. So people will say, well, Ray, I just don't have the money. Well, then you really need to go. Right? Well, Ray, I don't have a team. Well, then you really need to go. When is it the right time to hire a tutor? When you have that A+, when you're all set, or when you're trying to get that A+, when you're trying to get that A, when you're trying to pass the class, right? That's when you get a tutor. And that's what an event is it's a tutoring en masse. Now, some of you may say, well, I don't need motivation. Here's how you know if you need motivation or not. Stop looking at what you think you know and look at your results. What are the results in your bank account? What are the results in your network marketing team? What are the results in your relationships? See, stop seeing the world as I already know that, and instead think about what are your results? And I'll tell you, I'm a pretty consistent, motivated, fired up kind of person, but every time I attend these events, I get even more fired up. The number one thing that I always get out of events, and many people get out of events, is the stories. The stories, and I don't mean parables. I don't mean, just analogies. The stories of success. At one of the last events that I was at, there was a person that gave their acceptance speech in sign language because they were born deaf. Now imagine someone hitting you with the objection, someone that's able-bodied, someone that's, has all of their, functions and senses and everything, and they say to you, I just don't think I can do it. Well, an amazing way to overcome that objection is to say, yeah, you know what, I understand what you're saying, but, I saw this guy give his acceptance speech in sign language because he was born deaf. So if you have the ability to use the phone, well, you got more ability than he has, at least in that context, right? And so when you go there, you're going to hear stories about someone who was living on their mom's couch that's now full-time, someone who's working at, a restaurant and, now they visit the restaurant every now and then, right? Someone who was able to, quit their job. You're going to hear all kinds of those stories. And all of those things help you to build your belief, but they also, if you picture yourself like like a bow and arrow person, whatever you call that, just picture your quiver with all your arrows, right? So when someone talks to me about my network marketing company, one arrow is the guy that gave his acceptance speech in sign language. Another arrow is the guy that was living on his mom's couch that's now full-time, making over $100,000 a year. Another arrow, see, I got all kinds of arrows, right? And by the way, you also load that quiver with you using the product, right? So very, very powerful. Using the product, attending the events. those are the two biggest things that you can suggest to your team if you're serious about them growing. Very, very important. Okay. So next one, understand and respect the process. Okay. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things in network marketing except the process. See, network marketing it's simple. It's not complex. Okay. Brain surgery, complex. Okay. Rocket science, complex. Chemical engineering, complex. Network marketing, simple. Okay. It's simple. Now notice, I'm not saying it's easy. Okay. It's not easy. Okay. It'll be some of the hardest work you ever do, but it's simple. It's really simple. You know, how we recruit people every single week, and we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years straight of recruiting people every single week. Real simple. We expose them to a presentation. And in your company, a presentation, it might be a DVD, CD, online video, sizzle call, hotel meeting, restaurant meeting, one-on-one, two-on-one. It could be any of those things. And I'll tell you, I've done them all. I've recruited people using all of those methods. So they all work. But the bottom line is it's exposures. Exposures, 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 exposures. So if someone says to me, Ray, I'm real serious about building my network marketing business and I've been working really hard and I'm just not seeing the results. First question I ask them, how many people did you show the presentation to last week? Crickets, right? It's usually, I'm just trying to learn the comp plan, or, I'm on back order for my business cards, or, I just don't have the right logo yet. Excuses, okay? Excuses. It is all about exposures. That is the process. It is exposing in whatever way your upline and your system and your company suggests, exposing people to that. And it's just so key. So if you want to know if you're going to grow a network marketing business or not, simply check your pulse and do a checkup from the neck up and ask yourself, how many people did I show last week? And if that answer is 0, then you're literally not, you couldn't possibly build a network marketing business if the answer is 0. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to do it. And so you just got to be aware of that, okay? Respect the process. The process is key. Anytime my wife and I have dipped in recruiting, it's always exposures. Okay, we need to expose more people. And there are some weeks where we recruit 5 or 6 people in a week, and then there's some weeks we only do 1 or 2. What's the difference? Exposures, okay? Now, one thing that I'll add about exposures, most people are completely unrealistic when it comes to closing percentages, okay? They're totally unrealistic. And, if they talk to 3 people and 2 tell them no, they're like, oh man, golly, I'm really stinking. And honestly, if you recruit 1 out of 3, you're one of the best recruiters I've ever met. See, most people don't know that, okay? The best of the best of the best close 20, 30% of the people that they talk to, okay? So here's how you can beat them. You can beat super recruiters. Talk to more people, okay? So if super recruiter recruits 3 out of 10 and talks to 10 people, but you recruit, 1 out of 10 and you talk to 100, you're going to recruit more people, okay? If I can give you one mantra when it comes to this, it's say less to more people. Say less to more people. And remember tip number 1 about releasing acceptance and approval. You don't need it. You don't need nobody. I can assure you, no one that walks across stage at your network marketing company, if they polled them and said, hey, did all of your friends and family members give you acceptance and approval? None of them did, okay? Not one person that crosses the stage got 100% acceptance and approval. None of them, okay? You need to understand that. You're not that different from the top earners on stage. And one of the things that'll help you learn that is attending the events. It really will. It'll help you a lot to learn that process. 2 more things. Develop yourself. This is so key, okay? We are inundated with negativity. We're inundated with negativity from friends and family sometimes, from TV shows, from radio, from newspapers, magazines. We're inundated with all these, my friend Michael Beckwith, he says they're called WMDs, weapons of mass distraction. Okay, so what color is Britney's hair? What is Miley twerking nowadays? What happened to this, tornado, flash flood, all these different things. They're all weapons of mass distraction. And they're all things that can keep you from your path. You have to, on a daily basis, inject some good into you. Reading a book, reading, even if it's 10 pages of an uplifting or a self-development kind of book. Myself personally, I go through a lot of courses, I go through a lot of audiobooks, I read a lot of books, I do a lot of self-development, I hire coaches. We've now invested, holy crap, almost $200,000 in the last year and a half just in coaching. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you should go spend that. Okay. Let's, create you some profits and invest some of those profits, but that's our model. We do the same thing. So we invest a lot of money in courses, books, products, events, coaches, mentors. We invest a lot of money in all of that stuff. And so I'm not saying you have to invest a lot of money, but you gotta develop yourself. You gotta constantly be working on yourself. And this is something that, again, I'm going to bring up the fact that if you don't think that I don't need anything, Ray. Well, just instead of looking at what you know, look at your results. That will dictate to you if you need help in that department. We all do. I'm talking to you, telling you that I study on a daily basis. So I'm not saying you should do this, but I'm already here. See, I'm not there. I'm constantly hiring people to help me that maybe have been at, higher levels of success than I have. And actually the coach that I just hired used to run a $250 million a year coaching and education company. And so I'm constantly finding people to help me grow. And the cool thing about this is when I grow, you grow, because I teach what I learn. Very powerful. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about team. Now, we could do a whole separate video about team, but here's my big mantra about team. Inspire, don't manage. Okay? Now, this is such a big deal. Okay? Here's what most people do when they get into network marketing. They'll do a couple things, actually. They'll recruit a few people, and then they'll sit on them like mother hen and hope that they hatch. Well, I hope these few people go get more people because, man, it was hard work recruiting them. So now it's their turn. Your turn to work. Okay. That isn't how it works. Okay. The speed of the pack is dictated by the speed of the leader. When you stop recruiting, your team is going to too, just so you know. And a lot of times they'll go half the speed you are. So if you're not recruiting, some of them are going to quit. Okay. You inspire them with your actions. You inspire them by rank advancing. You inspire them by helping people create stories. You inspire them by doing the things you wish they would do. So you need to keep recruiting. If I started a pizza restaurant, at what point will I have sold enough pizzas? Never. I will continue. If I'm a pizza restaurant, I got to sell pizzas, right? And so why, if you believe in your network marketing company, now pay attention here. This is a little mental tweak. If you believe in your network marketing company, at what point have you helped enough people? I've helped enough. I've recruited enough. And I hope you look at it as helping. Because if you don't look at it as helping people, you're going to struggle with this business. Okay? There's never a time where you've helped enough people. Continue helping people. When you do that, you will inspire your team. Stop managing them. Stop sending them everything. Hey, you going to this event? You going to this? You going to this? Hey, got anything to talk about? Can I help you talk to anybody? No. Inspire them. Hey, Joe, I haven't heard from you, but just want to let you know we just recruited a really amazing realtor. And hey, if you got anything that you'd like me to chat about, let me know. Run. Here they are. Inspire. Hey, I don't know if you heard or not, but Joe just hit a new rank and man, this guy's really killing it. Hey, just touching base with you. Let me know if you need anything from me. Love you, brother. Gotta go. Okay. Inspire, don't manage. Stop beating them up. Why aren't you talking to more people? Why didn't you show up? That's management. They get enough management at their job. So stop managing them and instead inspire them. I hope you got benefit out of this video. Thank you again to Network Marketing Success Magazine. Honored to be on here. If you got value out of these 7 tips, please comment. Please let me know. You can check me out at facebook.com/Ray Higdon page. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.